Picture this. You're a restaurant owner, right? It's like 8 p.m. on a Tuesday. You're wiping down the bar, and you're just staring at 3 empty tables that used to belong to your absolute best regulars.
Oh, man, that is a rough feeling.
It really is. But the scariest customer in this scenario isn't the one, screaming at the manager about cold soup. And it isn't the one furiously typing a 1-star Yelp review in the parking lot. The scariest customer is the one who simply vanishes without a word.
Yeah, they just ghost you entirely.
Exactly. So welcome to today's deep dive. We are exploring 2 really fascinating articles today on what's called the 60-day customer recovery engine.
It's a great topic.
It is. Our mission here is to uncover exactly how businesses are using highly intelligent AI phone agents, not just to make calls, but to act as a fully automated revenue and market research system.
Which is a huge paradigm shift.
Huge. Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah.
Because, it seems like most business owners just assume people leave because something went terribly, terribly wrong.
They do. And it's honestly a massive misconception. Most businesses assume they lose customers because of, a catastrophic failure.
Right, like terrible service or something.
Exactly. A service incident, a food poisoning scare, whatever. But the reality is that most businesses die a slow death from simply being forgotten. A customer drifts away, the staff is, too busy to notice.
Always.
Right. And by the time the owner realizes that regular is gone, that person has already built an entirely new routine somewhere else.
Wow. So they just completely moved on.
Yeah. And the math of human behavior here is pretty unforgiving. In the hospitality industry, if a customer hasn't visited your establishment in 60 days, there is a 70% chance they will never return.
70%. That is a massive cliff to fall off.
It's basically a point of no return for most places.
But wait, if there wasn't a catastrophic failure, why are they leaving? Is it, are they just bored with the menu?
No, it's usually not even a conscious choice. At that 60-day mark, the customer hasn't made some, vindictive decision to abandon your business. It's not a boycott.
Okay.
What's happened is that their habit loop has decayed. Psychologists actually call this exact period the extinction point.
The extinction point. That sounds so intense.
It does, right. But think about human habits. If a customer used to come in for lunch every single Friday, and then 2 months go by without a visit.
Maybe they traveled or got sick or something.
Yeah, or just had a crazy busy period at work. The neural pathway that led them to your door has physically started to erode. They aren't angry with you, they are just neutral.
And in any consumer-facing business, neutrality is a death sentence.
Exactly.
That makes a lot of sense, especially when you, think about it like a gym habit. For you listening, think about the last time you stopped going to the gym for 2 months. You don't actively hate the gym, right?
You're not plotting against the treadmill.
Right. You're just sitting on your couch, and the friction to restart that specific habit feels incredibly high.
It feels monumental.
Or it's like a friend you forgot to text back.
Yeah.
You aren't mad at them, you're just neutral. And now so much time has passed, it feels socially awkward to reach out.
That's a really great way to look at it. The friction is entirely psychological. And this is exactly why the standard recovery tools that businesses use completely fail at the 60-day mark.
Oh, you mean like the email blasts?
Yeah. The sources refer to these standard marketing tactics, mass email blasts, SMS coupons, broad social media ads. They call them digital confetti.
Digital confetti. That is perfect.
Yeah.
Because confetti is impossible to focus on. It just, washes over you.
It's just a mess.
Right. When someone is at that 60-day extinction point and their habit loop is broken, their brain automatically filters out confetti as spam. They don't need a parade, they need a tap on the shoulder.
Precisely. They filter it out because it lacks context. When a customer reaches that extinction point, their emotional residue regarding your business is actually still positive.
It's just cooling down.
Right, cooling down rapidly, so you can't throw generic noise at them. That specific moment requires a personal intervention.
Because they still like you, technically.
Exactly. You have to intervene right when the memory is still fond, but the habit is fading.
Okay, I see the psychological need for that, but logically, how does a business possibly do that at scale? You can't just hire a massive team of telemarketers to call every single person who hasn't bought a sandwich in 2 months.
No, that would bankrupt you.
Right. So let's look at the actual method these sources outline, because they present this very specific AI-driven scenario. Let's meet a hypothetical regular named David.
Good old David.
Yes, David. So David goes to a local bistro called Hendrix. He usually comes in every other Wednesday for the chef's burger in a local IPA. But David hasn't been seen in 73 days.
Okay, so David has officially crossed that 60-day cliff. He is in the danger zone, and his habit loop has decayed.
So the AI agent initiates a call to David. And there's a detail here that really caught me off guard: the timing.
The timing is crucial.
Yeah, it doesn't just call him whenever. It calls at exactly 6:15 p.m., not during the restaurant's chaotic dinner rush, and not at 9 a.m. when he's starting work. It calls when he's likely commuting home, figuring out dinner plans, and, receptive to a chat.
It's catching him at the perfect decision point.
Exactly. And the AI gets on the phone and says something like, "Hey, David, it's Hendrix. I know it's been a minute. The bartender was actually asking about you last night. We're running a small thing for regulars we've missed, just for the next 48 hours. Here's a 20% discount on the new smoked brisket burger."
It's a highly targeted intervention.
But let me push back on this for a second, because I know what I'd be thinking if I received that call. A robot calling someone in 2026. Isn't that just going to sound like a creepy robocall from 2003 reading a menu?
I get that fear. I really do.
Like, how does this not instantly alienate David and guarantee he never comes back?
What's fascinating here is that you have to look at the behavioral architecture behind the script. The AI isn't just reading a generic menu in some robotic monotone.
Right, it's not a Roku voice.
No, and it's making a highly specific judgment call based on David's POS, that's point of sale, and his CRM data. The system knows David is a burger guy who drinks IPAs.
Oh, so it knows his exact order history.
Exactly. If the AI called David and offered him 20% off the new vegan tasting menu, that would be insulting.
Yeah, it would prove they don't know him at all.
Right. It would actively prove the restaurant has no clue who he is. Instead, the script uses 3 very specific psychological triggers designed for relationship repair.
Okay, what are those triggers doing in real time?
First, it uses social proof and identity reinforcement.
By mentioning the bartender.
Yes, by explicitly saying the bartender asked about you. That implies David is a known, valued entity, not just a transaction ID in some database. It signals that he belongs there.
That makes sense. It strokes the ego a bit.
It really does. Second, it utilizes scarcity. The offer is only valid for 48 hours, which forces a decision and triggers loss aversion.
Right, use it or lose it.
And third, it uses hyper-personalization by mentioning the smoked brisket burger. That directly maps onto his existing taste profile. It makes David feel seen.
Okay, so assuming the voice synthesis is, natural enough to actually pull that off, I'm still stuck on the logistics here.
The tech stack.
Yeah, because connecting a restaurant's POS system to a customer database and then tying that into a live conversational AI,
Yeah.
in my experience, restaurant tech is notoriously clunky. It's usually held together by duct tape.
You're not wrong about that.
So how does this invisible workflow actually function without constantly breaking?
Well, it works because of modern APIs. The tech stack isn't one giant monolithic software system. It's an orchestrated workflow of standard tools that businesses already use.
Okay.
You have Toast or Square for the point of sale, Airtable for a lightweight CRM, and a voice engine like Twilio. They connect these via APIs.
So they just talk to each other.
Exactly. Every single night, a simple query runs in the background. It sweeps the database and flags anyone with a membership ID who has been dormant for exactly 60 days.
When you say they connect via APIs, I like to think of the API like a bilingual waiter in a restaurant.
Oh, I like that.
The point of sale system speaks one language, right? It just knows numbers and receipts. And the AI dialer speaks another language entirely. The API is the waiter running between the kitchen and the table, translating the data instantly so the systems can talk to each other without crashing.
That's a perfect analogy. And that bilingual waiter is carrying an incredible amount of enriched data. When it flags David, it pulls his last 3 orders, his average ticket size, and even checks if he left any negative feedback on his last visit.
Wow. And there's another layer to this data gathering that I found just fascinating: the weather APIs.
Yes. The dynamic scripting.
Yeah, the AI can dynamically check the local forecast right before it initiates the call. If there is a massive thunderstorm coming in the next 2 days, the AI agent will adjust its script on the fly to suggest cozy indoor seating instead of the outdoor patio.
It's brilliant.
That level of situational awareness is just incredible to me. But what happens once David actually picks up the phone? How does the AI navigate a live human conversation?
That's where the sentiment analysis comes in. The voice API doesn't just push audio out, it's actively listening to him.
Actively listening.
Yeah, and it's not just transcribing text to see if David says yes or no. It's analyzing the actual acoustic models of his voice.
Wait, how does a machine actually hear that someone is annoyed? Is it measuring the pitch of his voice?
Pitch is part of it, definitely, but it's also measuring latency and rhythm.
Interesting.
When humans talk, there's a baseline conversational rhythm. If David answers the phone and speaks very quickly, clipping his words, or there are micro pauses that indicate he's distracted, the AI registers that acoustic data as rush or irritation.
So it knows he's having a bad day.
Right. And if it detects negative sentiment, it immediately shifts to a shorter, apologetic tone. It might say, "Oh, I caught you at a bad time, I'll let you go," and offers to just remove him from the list.
Wow. And if he isn't annoyed, like if the sentiment analysis registers that he's actually happy to hear from them?
If David says yes, the AI executes live actions while still on the call.
Oh, they are talking.
Yes. It pings Shopify or WooCommerce to generate a unique single-use discount code. It texts that code directly to David's phone via SMS.
That's wild.
And simultaneously, it drops a note into the restaurant's Slack channel for the general manager saying, "David M. reactivated, code sent, mention the brisket."
So the staff knows he's coming before he even walks in the door. They can actually prepare to welcome him back.
Exactly. It's seamless.
But what if the system completely fails? Like, what if David says, actually, the last time I was there, the service was terrible, the waiter was rude, and my food was cold? Does the AI try to argue with him or offer excuses?
No, absolutely not. And this is a crucial rule the sources emphasize. AI, in this context, does not replace humans. It filters for them.
It filters for them.
Right. If David expresses a genuine grievance, the AI is programmed not to debate. It apologizes sincerely, it comps an appetizer to his account to cool the situation down, and it immediately books a calendar task for a human manager to call him back personally the next day.
That is so smart.
Automation elevates the right moments to human attention. The machine handles the detection, and the human handles the complex relationship repair.
Okay, so David is back eating his burger. The system did its job. The 60-day cliff was completely avoided. But what happens to the data from that phone call? Does the AI just hang up and forget about it? Or is the restaurant owner actually seeing the results of these interactions?
This is where we shift from revenue recovery to what is arguably the system's greatest hidden benefit, the intelligence layer.
The intelligence layer.
Yeah, most people assume AI phone agents are just about saving labor costs, automating a task a human didn't want to do. But the real value is intelligence gathering.
Right. Think about the last time you received a written survey from a business. For you listening, I don't know about you, but I either delete it immediately or if there's an incentive and I'm forced to do it, I completely lie.
Oh, totally.
I just click whatever bubble gets me through the screen the fastest.
Yeah.
People lie on written surveys just to get them over with, but they tend to tell the truth in real, spoken conversations.
They absolutely do. When people feel like they are engaging in a dialogue, even with an AI, they offer qualitative context.
They explain themselves.
Right. When you run hundreds of these automated calls every single week, massive data patterns start to emerge. The AI is logging every single objection, excuse, and sentiment, and then clustering them by frequency.
The examples in the sources highlight exactly why this is so valuable. Imagine the AI pushes a weekly summary dashboard to the restaurant owner.
It changes everything.
Suddenly, instead of sitting in an empty dining room guessing why covers are down, the owner has hard data. They learned that like 12 people stopped coming because new municipal construction down the street ruined the parking situation.
Right.
7 people thought the restaurant was closing early because the online menu on Google had outdated hours. And 3 people left because a cheaper competitor opened up 2 blocks away.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, it fundamentally changes the nature of the business. You are taking a phone system, which historically has been a pure cost center, just a utility bill you pay every month, and turning it into a highly sophisticated market research department.
That pays for itself.
Exactly. You are generating actionable business intelligence that no survey form or star rating system could ever capture honestly. All of that unstructured conversational data gets processed, structured, and fed directly into the owner's decision-making workflow.
So they can actually fix the root problems.
They can update the Google listing, they can validate parking, they can adjust pricing.
That level of insight is incredible, but it raises a very practical question. Running API calls, live sentiment analysis, voice synthesis, and data clustering. It sounds expensive.
It sounds like enterprise tech.
Yeah. How do the economics of this strategy actually play out for the business's bottom line? Let's dive into the psychology of the offer and the actual math.
To understand the math, you first have to understand the behavioral psychology of the offer itself. The AI doesn't just blast out a generic 20% coupon to everyone. It frames the discount as a secret list exclusively for missed regulars.
A secret list.
Yes. This triggers what behavioral economists call the endowment effect.
So because the offer feels exclusive, like a private invitation rather than a cheap public Groupon, the customer values it much more highly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When people feel they've been given something exclusive, they feel a micro obligation to reciprocate. It feels like a gift rather than a promotion. And the 48-hour expiration is critical to this. It creates urgency without panic. The system then follows up with just one single, gentle SMS reminder at the 36-hour mark.
So it's not spamming them?
No, there are no annoying, endless email drip campaigns, just one perfectly timed nudge.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting. Let's play with the numbers here because the contrast is stark. If you're a business owner, listen to this math.
Yeah.
Acquiring a brand new customer in an urban market through Facebook ads or promotions costs anywhere from $40 to $80 in marketing spend.
Yep, it's brutal.
But reactivating a dormant customer using this AI workflow costs about $1.20.
That is a staggering difference.
So that includes the fraction of a cent for the AI API time, plus the margin hit on the brisket burger discount. You're spending $1.20 to do the job of $80.
And that ROI gets even more pronounced when you look at lifetime value, or LTV. The sources show that reactivated customers actually have a 1.4 times higher lifetime value than brand new customers.
Wait, really? Why is a reactivated customer more valuable than a new one? Shouldn't a new customer have a longer lifespan ahead of them?
It comes down to friction. Think about it. A brand new customer has to learn your menu, figure out your vibe, evaluate the service, and decide if they actually trust your brand. The friction is high.
Okay, yeah.
But a reactivated regular already trusts you. They already know their favorite dish. The friction is basically zero. So their second, third, and fourth visits happen much faster and more reliably than a stranger's would.
Let's walk through the final calculation to really grasp the magnitude of this. Imagine a medium-sized restaurant has 400 dormant members in its database people who have crossed that 60-day cliff over the last year.
400 is a very realistic number.
Right. If the AI recovery engine brings back just 12% of them, that is 48 extra covers a month. If the average ticket price is $55, that is $2,640 in monthly revenue.
Incredible.
And that is revenue from people the business had already completely written off as lost forever.
It's a system that runs autonomously while the owner sleeps, systematically identifying and reclaiming lost revenue.
It totally transforms what a restaurant is. It goes from being a passive room full of tables waiting for foot traffic to an active, data-driven entity that goes out, understands why people left, and actively brings them back.
That shift is what the sources call the membership mindset, and it's really the ultimate takeaway here. Modern businesses can no longer afford to think like traditional stores, just waiting passively for transactions to happen.
Right. Sitting around hoping people walk in.
Exactly. They need to act like membership clubs. The future of customer retention isn't just apologizing when someone complains, it's predicting churn before it becomes permanent, understanding the habit loop, and intervening at the exact psychological moment with extreme personalization.
But if you're a business owner listening to this, the advice isn't to try and build this massive, complex, API-driven machine by tomorrow morning. You don't need to overhaul your entire tech stack overnight.
No, please don't try to do that.
Right. The sources suggest starting small. Focus just on your 60 to 90-day dormant customers. Build a simple script that reflects the tone of your best front-of-house host. Test it with just 10 customers.
Just 10.
Yeah. Listen to the recordings, see how the acoustic sentiment analysis handles the responses, adjust the tone, and see what happens.
It's really just about taking that first step toward proactive, data-driven relationship management. You have to start somewhere.
Exactly. We've talked so much today about how this system perfectly maps human habit decay to nudge us back into our routines. We've looked at the math, the APIs, and the psychology.
It's a lot to take in.
It is. But as a consumer, it raises a fascinating question for you to mull over. In a world where AI knows exactly when our emotional connection to a brand is cooling and knows exactly what words, tones, and timing will trigger our return.
That's the big question.
Yeah, how much of our daily brand loyalty is actually our own conscious choice? and how much of it is just a perfectly timed algorithmic nudge.
It really does make you rethink why you suddenly decide to go back to your favorite spots.
It sure does. Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive. We'll catch you next time.